Today we're taking a look at ASX listed stock Latin Resources, ticker LRS, performing some technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see the Latin Resources go in the near future. Let's get into it. How's it going, guys? Ryan here and welcome back to another ASX stock analysis video. Today we are looking at Latin Resources. Their ticker on the ASX is LRS and they are a sustainable resources exploration company turning miner hopefully. And they're looking at different locations with different types of resources which are being driven by demand from the battery industry through the green sort of change that we're seeing in today's economy. So basically they are based in Australia. They have a few Australian projects, one of which is a halloysite kaolin project, but I suppose their main focus at this point in time has been that of in Brazil, where they have a few lithium projects, copper and gold. So that is sort of where the focus is, but they do have this halloysite kaolin project on the side, which they are putting efforts into from a drilling perspective and an exploration perspective as well. I highly recommend you guys go and check them out, as they've just had a really big announcement with regards to great grades from their diamond drill, I believe up to 2.72% lithium at one of their projects in Brazil. So be sure to go check that one out. But today, simply all we're doing is performing technical analysis and making some predictions on where we can expect to see LRS go in the near future. Let's get into it. Welcome into the LRS chart, guys. As you can see, we have closed today at a value of 4.2 cents after a really big jump, and that was off the back of what we were discussing previously about their lithium grade announcements from the drill holes. So really interesting stuff here, and it'll be interesting to see how things play out from a fundamental perspective as well. But today we are focusing on the TA. So first and foremost, I really want to just establish a trend, and the trend obviously should, if it can, start from the top, and the top end here is I'd be putting probably either 24th February or alternatively you could as well put the 31st of May, given we had a run from that point as well. So let's see what happens. Let's just chuck in the 31st of May and see, as we can, I suppose, determine if we'll hit our 3 points of contact. We do hit our 3 points of contact just along here, and if we did decide, I suppose, to extend that out a bit further, in fact, I think that looks a lot better given the fact that we are touching it more occasions from the top end. So that is our top trending line. Now, as you can see, we have broken above that. This has basically been downtrending for a period of time, and finally it looks like after a false breakout that had occurred over here towards, I suppose, the middle of January, we have finally now seen a breakout occur. Nice little flag pattern by the looks, which lined up perfectly with the results that came through. We did have obviously a little base coming through here as well. I won't draw that line in, but you get the gist. It was getting quite tight, and as you can see, we have this recurring pattern on a smaller scale on a number of different occasions. This was unfortunately the time, we started going down, but then we have seen that pattern then form itself over at the end here once again. But what we have seen right now, whilst yes, it is fantastic that we do certainly have that flag which is here and has broken upwards, timed with the news well, a gap has formed, and that is, in my opinion, the main reason as to why we have seen a drop in value. So the gap right now is sitting at its lowest point at 3.5 cents, and up here at its highest point right now on the day's low at 4.1 cents. Now, it's looking like this gap wants to close, and the reason I say that is due to the fact that you can see we didn't close up here where things were going really crazy. We closed towards the bottom. We closed at 4.2 cents, which is literally 0.1 of a cent off the day's low, as opposed to the day's high, which was at 5.5 cents. So all in all, I think it's looking like right now we're going to close that gap. So what does that mean? Well, it means we're going to get down to this level here, which is that 3.5 cent mark. So what I'm going to do is basically put in a line here just so you can see, and what we're expecting to happen over the course of the next few days or weeks is that point is going to be touched, and the quicker that can occur, the better. Alternatively, we may see that buyers do start continuing to come in, but at this point in time it looks like this is a bit of a trader's stock, purely because the volume prior to this was very low and it has absolutely exploded today, shot up in value, then shot down very quickly. So I'm expecting to see a bit of movement potentially like that towards this bottom end over here at 3.5 cents. What other, I suppose, things can we put in place? Well, let's try put in place a key point of resistance for us now. And as you can see, there has been plenty of price action in the past, so that one is going to be quite hard. But I think a fundamental point of price resistance is going to be here at this mark, the 4.5 cent mark. And the reason being is, as you take that line across, what you can see is, as we zoom in, I suppose, to the individual days, tons of price action touching or bouncing off that point over the course of basically a year or so of trading. So a really integral point. It has been a point for breakouts and that sort of thing in the past as well. So I think that is our key point of resistance that we need to break through. Now, notably as well, we have had the 20-day moving average cross above the 50-day moving average, which in my opinion was the real trigger for the breakout of the original downtrend. How that's going to influence us now, I think simply we're going to see that 20-day moving average come up and act as a bit more support for our horizontal support line here at 3.5 cents. Other than that, I don't think there is much meaning behind these two. Now, of course, as well, we do have this 200-day moving average, which will act as a point of resistance for us. We got past it, but of course have fallen below it now. We need to be able to aim for that one as well. If we can have a day where we close above the 200-day moving average, given we've been downtrending for so long, that will be a very bullish indicator for us. MACD, let's have a quick look at this one. Now you can see a cross on the MACD. So as I mentioned before, we did have that nice crossover here of the 20 to 50-day moving average, but it looks like really the big catalyst for us to see a nice rise in value was the cross of the 12-day EMA above the 26-day EMA, and you can see we're still moving in an upwards direction quite quickly due to the fundamental announcements that did come out today. So realistically, looking good from that perspective, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a fast drop if we do continue to see traders coming in and taking advantage of this stock, getting in then getting out for a few pips. Let's have a look as well at the RSI. Now the RSI, as I suppose is quite obvious, has spiked up due to all the buying action that occurred. We're currently sitting at 67.3, so we're not actually overbought at this point in time, but given that it has moved up quite sharply, I would hope to see that this does cool down a bit, and that then lines up with our prediction that we'll need to close this gap right here. So if we do start to see some movement, I'm expecting we're going to start trending down towards this 3.5 cent mark, and what's going to happen is we're going to trend down to it, and then we're hopefully going to bounce off it and then go up and test this 4.5 cent mark. That seems to be at this point in time the most logical price action prediction that we can look for. That wraps up today's analysis on LRS, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments section below. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video, make sure you do leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. I'll leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.